Welcome back, everyone, to Unit 1, Introduction to Storytelling. Our essential question for this unit is, why do we tell stories? In this lesson, we'll be looking at fables, our first genre of literature in this unit. To begin, we want to look at what a fable is. Fables are short stories intended to teach a lesson. And often, plants, animals, and forces of nature speak and act like human beings. Fables are believed to come from India. However, Aesop, a Greek slave, is most known for the fables heard today. For instance, the ant and the grasshopper, and the lion and the wolf. Fables were an early form of storytelling to teach lessons in an entertaining way, and they were passed down from generation to generation. As you remember from last week, we looked at reasons for why we tell stories. Well, one of those reasons was to teach lessons, to entertain, and to be able to pass down stories before there was abilities to write down stories. So that's 3 reasons right there fables are important. Let's look at some characteristics of a fable. So animals are usually the main character. The plot and the characters are very simple. The stories teach a moral or a lesson. We're going to look more in depth at this when we cover theme. Settings of fables are very common and not specific. And the author uses personification. Let's break these down. Animals as characters. When you see a lion in a fable, a lion typically represents strength or a big ego, very egotistical person, or animal, I should say. A donkey is usually representative of dumb or stupid. Think about the donkey in the movie Shrek. How smart was he? Not much. Fox is typically sly or sneaky character in fables. A hawk is tyrannical. They use power in a cruel way as characters in fables. Wolves are usually greedy and dishonest when they're a character in a fable. Flies are typically wise and smart. Hens are usually conceited characters in fables. And lambs are seen as shy characters in fables. There are more animals you will see in fables, and as well, forces of nature will be used as characters. Just try to use the context of the story to see how their character traits are represented in the story. So, stories teach us a moral or a lesson. So, we want to look at theme, which we will look at deeper this week, but just to begin, theme is the underlying message or lesson the author is trying to show the reader. There are many, many types of themes, a few of those being love, betrayal, forgiveness, rich versus poor, and as I said, a ton of other types of themes we can find in stories. Personification. Simply put, personification is making animals or objects seem like real people with real human feelings and emotions. When you see personification, think person. Let's look at some examples. The trees danced back and forth in the wind. Can trees actually dance? No. Humans dance. However, when the wind blows trees and they sway, it almost looks as if they're dancing. So we're giving trees a human ability or a human characteristic, but it's not human, it's a tree. Next example. The delicious smell of cookies pulled me into the kitchen. All right, guys, do cookies have hands? No. Can cookies pull you? No. But we say the smell was so good, it felt like it pulled us in. So again, humans can pull on people, and as in the picture you see, someone's being pulled on a sled, but cookies can't. but we can give a cookie a human ability or characteristic in the way we speak and describe it. So let's look at a pretty typical fable just to get an idea of what they look like. So we're going to look at the ants and the grasshopper. This fable was actually used in the movie A Bug's Life by Disney Pixar, which is one of my favorite movies. So if any of you've seen that, this will probably sound familiar. So let's look at this fable, and then we'll look at the moral or the lesson. One bright day in late autumn, a family of ants were bustling about in the warm sunshine, drying out the grain they had stored up during the summer, when a starving grasshopper, his fiddle under his arm, came up and humbly begged for a bite to eat. "What?" cried the ants in surprise. "Haven't you stored anything away for the winter? What in the world were you doing all last summer?" "I didn't have time to store up any food," whined the grasshopper. "I was so busy making music that before I knew it, the summer was gone." The ants shrugged their shoulders in disgust. "Making music, were you?" they cried. "Very well, now dance." And they turned their backs on the grasshopper and went on with their work. Can you identify the moral or the lesson or the theme of this story? Well, the moral is there's a time for work and there's a time for play. So in the summer, you're supposed to store up food, so in the winter, you can eat and play. But the grasshopper decided to play all summer and didn't have any food. To sum up, fables are short stories. The characters are usually animals, plants, or some force of nature that have human qualities. Don't forget personification. They teach us a lesson. They can relate to everyone and connect us with other cultures. Don't forget theme. Thanks for watching.